I get a lot of inquiries asking me to look at stocks and asking me what I think about stocks. And one of them that comes up quite a bit is overstock.com. And Carrie, have you seen how this thing is flying up the charts? And what do you think about investing in it? And quite honestly, I don't think about investing in it because you need to understand the number one premise of why I invest in a stock is how it's going to change the way I live. I believe that if I could build a company that changed the way you live, I would get really rich. If I could make your life better, I could get really rich. If I could help you live longer and happier and have more of what you want, I think I could get rich. If I thought that I could invent a company that just made you and your family smile every day and be happy that you're alive, I think I could get rich. I don't think Overstock.com is going to do that for me. I don't think most of the companies in the world are going to do that for me. But there's one that I want to talk to specifically today. Actually, there's more than one, but the one I want to talk to you about today is I remember when I was growing up, there was a phrase, it went, an apple a day will keep the doctor away. I actually happen to eat about a half an apple every day. I cut it up, slice it up in pieces. I put it in a bowl. I put a half a cup of yogurt on it, and then I put a half a cup of a special granola that I like on it. And that's my lunch every day during the week. So I eat an apple a day. With that being said, I want you to watch this clip. And it's an interview with Jim Cramer interviewing Tim Cook on January the 9th, 2019. Remember that date, January the 9th, 2019. Watch this clip.
On the healthcare in particular and sort of your well-being, this is an area that I believe if you zoom out into the future and you look back and you ask the question, what was Apple's greatest contribution to mankind? It will be about health. Because our business has always been about enriching people's lives. And as we've gotten into healthcare more and more, through the watch and through other things that we've created with Research Kit and Care Kit, and putting your medical records on the iPhone, this is a huge deal. And it's something that is very important for people. We are democratizing. We are taking what has been with the institutions and empowering the individual to manage their health. And we're just at the front end of this. But I do think, looking back in the future, you will answer that question. Apple's most important contribution to mankind has been in health.
I hope you caught what he said. He said that if you go forward 25 years and look back, you will look back at Apple and you will not remember the iPhone as its most memorable achievement. You won't remember the iPad. You won't remember iTunes, and you probably won't remember the Apple Watch. What you will remember is how Apple changed healthcare, how Apple made your life better through healthcare. Well, folks, it's time to stock up on apples. It's time to buy Apple. I think you can look back at some of the things that they've done recently. They partnered with Google to create a program for tracking the spread of the virus. They've got the iWatch, which measures many of your body functions on a continuing basis. They're digging deep into wearables, including the watch and shirts and shoes and all this, to measure your health, your current health condition, so that you can manage it better. The other thing, before we go too much further on that, I want you to look to I think I'm the only guy on YouTube who reads the Wall Street Journal. This is this weekend's Saturday, Sunday edition, and it's a 3-page article on Tim Cook. It's actually not an interview with Tim Cook. It's an interview of the people who work with him and how he's changed and how he's replaced Steve Jobs. Important that you read this because it's important that you understand what Apple is doing and the direction they're going. You should have watched the interviews of the Senate Judicial Committee interviewing the 4 most powerful men in the world's economy. You should have watched that. But back to why you want to start buying apples and the genius of what they're doing. As you know, they're splitting their stock 4-to-1. That isn't the first time they've done it. But I think it's important when you put it into perspective that Apple is the most desired watch amongst the younger generation. But they don't know anything about Apple stock because it's too expensive. Well, he's just cut the price of the stock by 75%. It's going to go from 400, from 3 whatever it is to $75. What that's going to do is make it top of mind of all the young new investors who are coming in through Robinhood and some of these other platforms. It's going to make it attainable for them at not a fractional share, and even if it's a fractional share, if they can spend $100 and get 1.25 shares, that's a good thing. So Tim has recognized that he built his company on the baby boomers. He lifted the company on Generation X, but next he has to take it into the next stratosphere, and that's going to be through the millennials. And he's going to do it through healthcare. The other thing, I think I had an interesting experience yesterday. I was I have a group who came in from, a group of 4 people who came in from Utah to buy a trailer park that I have for sale south of Birmingham. And there were 4 people, actually there were 7 people there, ranging in age from a low of 19 to a high of 73. And I had to excuse myself because I said I had to get home and shoot a video. And they said, well, what do you do shooting videos? And I said, I inform people every morning about the stock market. And they said, well, what kind of things do you inform them about? And I said, well, I'm going to shoot a video on Apple today. What are you going to tell people about Apple? And what I realized of those 7 people, they had no idea. They had no, in fact, one of them said, well, isn't Apple owned by Google? You are a fraction of the population in this world that is interested and knows anything about stocks. I asked them what they thought about the Kodak debacle. And the response was, you mean the camera company? I thought they were out of business, knew nothing about it. One lady said, well, I do know about TikTok. I think they're owned by Google, aren't they? And I said, no, not really. Are they owned by Facebook? No, not really. You are part of a very small fraction of the world. And that fraction is growing as a result of the pandemic. First of all, there are a lot of people sitting at home with nothing to do. There are a lot of people who got a $1,200 check, and then some of them are getting an additional $600, $700, $800. I saw a lady in California who was getting $1,000 a month between her state unemployment and her federal government unemployment. $52,000 a year isn't a bad gig when you don't have to go to work. They're now getting interested in the stock market. And Apple has recognized that. Apple recognized they're all walking around with an Apple phone in their hand. They're all walking around and flashing that on the back of their laptop, an Apple insignia, and they're now going to make their stock available to them. So you as an investor need to be buying Apple. You need to be stocking up on Apple, because the other thing that Tim Cook didn't have any clue of on January the 9th, 2019, was how desperately important it is that Apple does change our healthcare system, that Apple does put a smart toilet in my bathroom, maybe delivered by Amazon, but that Apple does put a smart toothbrush on my sink, and that I do have I went this week and had my lab work done where they tested my blood, and I do that once every 6 months, but I need to be doing it every week. I need to be testing my body so that that data goes into the cloud, which is controlled by 9 companies around the world, and it's going to be analyzed, and it's going to be fed back to me, and I'm going to be told if I'm healthy, if I've got something going on that I need to check out. I'm going to get an option. Carrie, you're in good health. Go enjoy yourself. In fact, we'll access your phone and give you a clear bill of health to every restaurant, every movie theater, every cruise ship, every airplane that you want to go on. Or option 2 will be, Carrie, lay down. You need to rest for a while, or you need to go eat something to get your system back in order. Or we just notified the ambulance and they're coming to pick you up. Or you got 3 days to live, brother. You better get your affairs in order. That's what's going to happen. And Apple is going to be a big part of it. Google's going to be a big part of it. And so what my message to you is, you have a privilege in front of you right now, an opportunity to improve your life dramatically by buying Apple stock this week. Now, you're going to say, well, it's at an all-time high. No, it's not. It's an all-time high maybe for now, but it won't be in 6 months. It will be a bargain. The price you can buy it at today is going to be a bargain. Because as I said so strongly in a video last week, you have the opportunity to buy into some of the best companies ever to be on this earth. And they are going to change your life so dramatically. If you're 25 years old today, you don't have a clue as to what's about to happen. If you do want a clue, read this book, The Future is Faster Than You Think, and read a lot of books to educate yourself. I got an email this week that said, I so thank you for telling my son he needs to be reading. Yeah, I'll reiterate. 2 years ago, some guy paid $350 million to have lunch with Warren Buffett. He sells his book for $29.99. You don't have to spend that kind of money to get inside of Warren's head. You don't have to spend that kind of money to get into some of the smartest people in the world's heads. So buy Apple, enjoy Apple, and I'm going to start and continue to eat an apple a day. See my apple?